to me at least. But anyway, I want to welcome everybody here this morning. For those of you who've come, it's really wonderful to be together. And the title of today's sermon is Coming Home. Now, we've been talking about the three blessings since the beginning of January. The three blessings are like God's blueprint for our lives. So there's the first blessing. This is in Genesis 1:28. The first blessing is to be fruitful, which is to grow to spiritual maturity. And so all the way through January, we had sermons about growing to spiritual maturity. How do I develop myself? How do I improve my life? And then we transferred into the second blessing, which is to multiply, which is the relationships within a family, and how do we find God within our family. And then the third blessing is to have dominion, or to love the creation, to love the world in the place of God. So we've been going through this series, and this particular sermon is part of the second blessing, which is to multiply and to discuss how do we find God in our family and in our home. Now, home is something that everybody longs for. You get home at night and you're like, yay, I'm home. Right. We all long for home. And I picked up a fun little fact this week that in traditional societies, the day begins in the evening, which is interesting because even in the Bible it says there was evening and there was morning and the next day, right? So like, what was that? Why does the day begin in the evening? Excuse me. But it makes sense if we consider that the day begins in the evening because you do all your work, you get home and you feel like, oh, I have a new life. It's a new day. I can relax and enjoy my home and my family. So we all want family, and you know, we enjoy our homes because within our homes are a myriad of little memories and the things that we think about connected to love. And it's funny, it doesn't matter how your home may look a little odd. You may have this throw that grandma crocheted for you over the back of the couch that's in complete opposition to the modern art on the wall. Nothing matches. If you come to my home, you will discover nothing matches. But still, it's home because it's woven together with love. And that love, everything in our home reminds us of something or someone. And that is actually what God wanted for us. Excuse me. We long for home and we long for family because that's the original framework. That's how God created us. God created us to live in families and to live in home. It's kind of like what's meant to be. And I want to just bring out a beautiful quote from a sermon given by Reverend Moon that speaks to what we're all longing for. All of us are longing for family and home, but why? And in this quote he says, the statement that the purpose of life is the consummation of love is very important. Every cell of our bodies and every part of our existence will echo that statement. From this basic statement, we conclude that whether a person is happy or unhappy depends on the fulfillment of love. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Oh, yes. You can have like a ton of money. I've been in some really nice homes. My husband's cousin has a home with 7 bathrooms. It was a really beautiful home. But I kept thinking, God, 7 bathrooms to clean? I find it hard with 2. You know? That's right. So, you know, the external reality doesn't necessarily bring us the internal happiness. Of course, everyone needs a basic sustenance level of living. But what are we really looking for? We're not looking for the perfect external environment. We're happy when we have love. Wouldn't you agree with that?
Yeah.
I want to read, this is a beautiful book that if you have a chance to read it, it's called New Hope, and it's 12 sermons by Reverend Moon, and each one of them is very special. And I've, instead of reading from the book, I've just printed it out. And I want to read from it because it really speaks to this issue and is quite profound. And it says, why is God trying to bring you into the position of his children? So we may not even feel connected to God, but God's working really hard behind the scenes to bring us into the position of his children. He wants to give you the right love, and listen to this, and enjoy the same level of love that he does. God is not a selfish God. He wants us to have the same level of love that he has. He wants you to be able to give true love rather than simply just receive it. God isn't passive. He doesn't expect us to